Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel and a new sneak peek video featuring products from our upcoming April 11th release. This is the Simply Sentimental Mom stamp set. So if you're familiar with Trinity Stamps, you know we have a line of Simply Sentimental stamps where there is one focused word, in this case the word mom, and then lots of supporting additional or sub-sentiments to go with that main word. So we've got mom in lots of different styles. There are dies to cut out the larger words, the mom words, and even one that says mother. And then you also have dies that are going to cut out those same exact stamped images. So you can either stamp the word mom or you can die cut the word mom. You can also cut out your stamped image with the outer die, but that outer die also becomes the shadow layer if you want to die cut the word mom. So there's so many choices with that. I just love the Simply Sentimental line. So I'm going to stamp out the word mom. I'm using some blush ink. It's just really light colors. I'm going for a really soft color palette today. I'm going to stamp that 2 times just to make sure I've got good ink coverage. It's kind of a more solid stamp, and so I like to stamp it 2 times. Then I'm bringing in a little bit darker color. This is rouge ink, and I'm just getting that bottom half of the stamp. And then if I got any like what I consider to be harsh lines, I just kind of softened it out with my finger and then stamped it down, and that's going to give me like an ombre effect. And I love that, which is a fun thing to do with a little bit more solid stamp. So I'm going to do that 2 times as well, really just working on the bottom edge of that stamp this time. So there we go. Isn't that cool? I love it. So let's take a close-up look. And then we're going to stamp our sub-sentiments as well. So I'm doing 2. One says, I couldn't wish for a better. And then I love you. So this is going to go around the word mom on my card. And I'm going to use the darker of those 2 inks, the rouge ink, to stamp these. And I'm stamping it on just a tiny strip of paper that fits these sentiments perfectly, so I don't have to do any cutting later. I just trimmed a little strip of paper on my paper cutter. It's just a hair bigger than a 1/2 of an inch. And there we have it. Couldn't wish for a better, and I love you. I'm going to just snip the ends off here, and those are going to be ready to go on my card. Now I'm going to die cut out the word mom, which, remember, this die that I'm using right now is also the shadow layer if I wanted to die cut that word mom in the same style as the one I just stamped. So there you go. That's what it looks like. Okay, now we're moving on to another sneak peek product, which you probably saw in a previous video or Instagram post, but it is the reverse floral background stamp. I love background stamps. So I'm really excited that we have a couple background stamps in this release, and this one is flowers. It's really cute. I am using some Dewdrop ink, I believe is the color I'm using. Yeah, just a really, really light blue. And I took really great care in inking up this stamp really good because it's very solid, and I left my stamp down on the paper a little bit longer, making sure I gave plenty of time for that ink to transfer from the stamp to the paper, because I thought I probably wouldn't get 2 chances to stamp this out. All right, so before we move on, let's take a look at the Foil Burst Hot Foil Plate. This is new in the release, and I love it because it can go with so many different things, with different looks. So I'm going to use it right on top of my floral background here with some Aura foil. I've got my Glimmer Hot foil system heating up. I put that face down onto my platform and added the plates on top. Then I can remove that entire piece from the machine and run it through my die cutting machine, and the heat and the pressure is going to transfer that foil onto my background. So let's take a look and see what it looks like. By the way, Aura foil is my most favorite. It is gold with an iridescent finish, and it foils so good. So there is my background. Now we're going to create a couple little pieces to accent this card, and this is the Wildflower die set. So I have die cut 2 flowers, a larger and a smaller, and I have some little finger brushes I'm adding color to these with just around the edges and I'm using the same colors that I stamped the word mom with. So this is that blush ink, and then I'll use the rouge ink on the smaller piece for the center, and they're just really pretty and soft in color, and I think it's perfect for a Mother's Day card. So we're going to layer those up, and the little center being darker just is so pretty. I love it. So a little Crafty Gluefriend dot of glue right there in the center will hold this in place. And then, you know, like the flower needs another little something right there in the center, so I will add some embellishments to this at the end. But I also wanted some leaves, so I have some frayed leaf ink, and I'm also just touching the ink onto the ends of these leaves. I want it to have kind of where it fades to white. I like that look. And then I just try to make the tips of the leaves a tiny bit darker. So there you go. And then we're going to make the center of our background a little bit darker using that same dewdrop ink and just bringing that color a little bit darker right there in the center. And that's going to look really good for my image right there in the center, just to add that darker color right around the word. It's just one of those things that kind of helps draw your eye into where you want it to go, which is the sentiment. So that's what I did. I think it looks great. And I mean, just think of all the different ways that you could use this. You could use it with a race car. We have a race car stamp that came out for Valentine's Day, and this makes me think of that. So we have other new products coming out. One of them in particular I think would look really good with this. It's a trophy. I don't know if it's been sneak peeked yet, but yeah, it's a fun little hot foil plate for sure. All right, so now I'm just adding the leaves to the back of my flower, which I had already added a foam square to. So those are going to be at the base level of my card, and then the flowers popped up, but they're stuck together. So there we go. I'm going to put one in the bottom left corner and one in the top right corner, just for a little bit of something pretty. You could do all four corners if you want, but I really just like the little touch, just a soft, subtle, beautiful card for mom. And then I'm going to add this to my 5x5 card base. So my card front is just a little bit smaller at 4 3/4 squared. Now I have some gems or rhinestones to add to the center of my flowers, and then I'll add a couple to the card, but again, just keeping it really simple, and it kind of makes it a little bit more elegant when you just do a little, like a little goes a long ways, which is hard for me. I usually make cards that are quite involved with all the extras. That's my style, but today I think I was able to just tone it down a little bit. I had to show you, these gems are called Carnival glass. Isn't that awesome? They're so beautiful. Okay, so that is my finished card featuring the Simply Sentimental Mom stamp set. Isn't it cool? I'm so excited about it. And then the foil burst hot foil plate, which I think is just really cool. Gonna go with so many things. So thank you for stopping by for a sneak peek. Remember, this release hits the shop on April 11th. So mark your calendars, come by each day for more sneak peeks until then, and happy stamping. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.